From the top of his head to the depths of his soul, James Segrest is devoted to country music.
I did it as a kid, and I've been doing it ever since. I guess probably 10 years old. And when I was 19, I got married, moved to Montgomery, and I realized you could make a little money, doing that. So here come the beer joints and bars and nightclubs. And from there on to everywhere from there. I cut my first record, I guess. Had to have been, 64, baby?
His talent is versatile, ranging from ballads to dance music.
I learned my trade in taverns and honky tonks and bars. Sound of crying fiddles and pedal steel guitar. Back then I barely made enough for drinks and cigarettes. I lost my heart in the beer joints and I ain't found it yet. A few more years went by and I was really moving up, playing all the dance halls and big city clubs. Had a Silver Eagle bus, roadies and motels, a record on the charts, doing fairly well. Now I'm back in the beer joints again, back where it really all began.
James Segrest has deep roots in Macon County. Born in Shorter, his musical beginnings are tied to a guitar he damaged when he was about 8 years old. That guitar belonged to his father.
He left to go to Tuskegee to the A&P. That's where they bought groceries, once a month. And when he left, I slid that guitar out from under the bed, and I was going to play with it. And I broke a string on it. Oh. That, I figured, was the death sentence, But when he got back, the next time he pulled it out and that string was broke, he asked me about it. And I told him, yeah, you didn't lie back then. Kids, when you don't lie back then, he had too many straps. And so I told him, yeah. I think it was about 2 days later he told me to come go with him. We went to Tuskegee, a little music store up there, and he bought me one.
He got his first taste of stardom competing with a gospel youth quartet in a talent show held in Tuskegee. They won this 1950s era contest, and he's been wowing audiences ever since. He's so good, he eventually hit the music industry jackpot.
Well, when I got signed with ABC, I just played in a little nightclub here in Montgomery. And I was down there one night playing. I had cut a little 45 with a local label. And some way, there's a guy in Nashville that got a hold of a copy of it, and I was down there playing music and took a break, and the phone rang. They called me to the phone, and it was him from Nashville, Wanted to know if I'd be interested in a recording contract with ABC. A pretty big name label, back then. I said, shoot, I reckon, And he wanted to know if I'd be there Monday. This was like Friday night. And I said, yeah, I could be there Monday, no problem. And so we went up there, took my lawyer with me, we went up there and signed on with ABC.
His career took off like a rocket, and though he orbited among the stars, he never became one of them. No scandals, no drugs meant no headlines.
Never went to jail for anything, so that was one thing I was proud of, after I got old enough to really know what it was staying off drugs. I never got into that, And I think that's probably one of the reasons I didn't get no better than I got, because it seemed to me now, if you're not on drugs, you don't get write-ups. You don't do good. You gotta be in there. All the big names to have drug stories. I don't have any.
He also never went bankrupt. but he wrote a song that could be the bankruptcy anthem.
Well, the finance company just picked up my automobile. Now I gotta walk to work 'cause I ain't got no wheels. I'm in one hell of a bad situation. If it hell is to Russia and the United Nations going bankrupt, I'm going bankrupt.
He did occasionally venture out on the wild side with his onstage antics.
And I used to put lighter fluid in my mouth, cigarette lighter fluid, and blow it out and make a flame. You know, I did it 1,000 times. Big flame, boy, that big. But I ran out of air before I ran out of lighter fluid. Oh.
After retiring in 2008, he now lives the simple life with his lady love, Angie. A musician herself, she knows good country singing.
Oh, I think he's great. Even before he and I got together, I was a fan. I've always loved his singing, and he come into a club I was playing at, and somebody says, James Segrest is in here, and I'm like, oh, all right, we got this star in here, and he gets up on the bandstand and sings with us, and I'm like, oh, all right, But I've been a fan of his for a long time, and
Many of his best songs he wrote himself, but this extraordinary artist also can breathe life into lyrics written by others, as he did with this song.
As poor as sun and dirt, all we had was each other. Didn't seem to be enough back then. I worked so hard it hurt to make one end meet the other. Now I'd gladly do it all again. I did some taking with a gun, left Alabama on the run. I just had to get away from that old farm. But I didn't make it far. They put me here behind these bars, and I miss my woman's tender loving arms. And my Alabama dreams always put my mind at ease. They take me back in time to the world I left behind.
James Segrest, another Macon County original who took the world by storm.